Welcome to all my travelers out there. I am your host, Darren Beckett, and this is the Global Travel Podcast. For those who do not know my travel resume, I've been to 13 states, 15 countries on 5 different continents, but it is not about me. Here, we are giving you quality travel tips, insights, and recommendations on all the best destinations for ideas to enjoy your vacations. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We are all clear for takeoff. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, before we reach our destination, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and if you could do me a favor, in the comment section below, type in the words, "I got my ticket," and at the end of the show, I'm going to come back, I'm going to respond and see how your experience went with us, all right? So with that being said, on today's episode, we are taking a trip to the Cayman Islands. So make sure you got your passports, your earphones, and something to snack on. We have a very special guest here with us today, but before I introduce her, let me just say this. Now, every time I look on my IG, she's always in a different place, whether it's a different country or a different state. So if the Cayman Islands is on your list, you definitely want to pay attention. She's been to 14 states and 8 countries. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my girl, Jennifer Vilas. So what's going on with you, girl?
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's happening? What's happening in your world? How are you doing in this COVID and whatnot? How are you living?
Still trying to live the best life that I can. I mean, trying to do a little bit of traveling that I can. It has pushed me to do a little bit more traveling within the States. So still trying to get a little bit out there, but definitely miss going out the country.
Yep, I've been seeing you. I've been jealous because I've been locked in this house, but it's all good. I'm gonna get out soon. But let's go ahead and just talk a little bit before we start getting into the travels, a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you live, your work, hobbies, all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, I currently live in Lancaster, California. I have my house out here. I kind of grew up all around LA, Long Beach, just everywhere down there. When we moved up here, I feel like I got stuck. It's more affordable. I wanted to have my own house. Went away to college at UCLA, came back, ended up getting a house, and I've been here now. I am a children's social worker, so I feel with that job alone, it can be very stressful. I went into that line of work again, just kind of based off of how I grew up and what I went through, and wanting to do something that where my heart was at. But I definitely feel traveling has helped me with my self-care, to keep my sanity, to keep doing good at what I do, so that I'm not just mean, and I'm not trying to be like that kind of person. I really want to just continue to do what I do and come from the heart. So yes, I've been up here now. I think I got my house, maybe like my first house 10 years ago. So been living up here for 10 years now. And like I said, just trying to get out and explore. I started like traveling more so barely only 4 years ago, but now it's not going to stop.
That part, I'm telling you, I'll be checking your IG. I'll be jealous. I'm like, dang, where's she going now? So that's what's up. So what about, okay, we know traveling is probably one of the biggest hobbies. What other hobbies do you like to do other than traveling?
I'm really I like outdoors, a lot of outdoor stuff. So just, whether it be going for a hike, going to a waterfall. I like a lot of family time. Like you probably see that on my IG all the time too. Just kind of getting together and just really staying at heart to what really matters, which to me is family, friends who become family. Especially right now with the pandemic, it's a little bit more, it's forced me to keep my circle more smaller, but it's more intimate and I'm still good with it. So that's kind of what I do. I miss going hiking and stuff. It's getting kind of cold, really cold out here. So I had to kind of put that on the back burner for now.
Right. That's what's up. Yeah, La Familia. That's most important because without that, what do you have?
Agreed.
So now let's go ahead. Let's get on this plane. Let's go. We have a flight to catch. Now so I know you've been to, like I said, 14 different states. What state do you recommend folks going to first? Where should we go?
You know what? The first major trip I did, well, because my family's from New Mexico, one side of my family, so I went there a lot. But I think for me as an adult, my first major trip was to Florida, and I really enjoyed it because we drove there. So we got to really do like a long, good road trip going through some states. And of course, I would stop, kind of get a little bit. It's good, I promise. It was it wasn't, I thought it was gonna be just vigorous and intense and bad, but it was really, I enjoyed it actually. So I've now been back to Florida a lot of times. And I kind of feel like I've gone through different parts of Florida, and they're quite different. You know, if you want to go have an adult all girls trip, go to Miami, great, go to Key West. Then I could do my family trip and go to Orlando. So I mean, I really enjoy Florida. I kind of feel like I get a little bit of, and honestly, I've gone at different times of the year, and it's always okay too. This last time, I think I went in October. I think I like that month the best for the weather. But yeah, I think I like Florida. That's one of my top states.
Yeah. Florida is for those folks who have never been, is a hot and humid state, especially those for folks who, I don't know, maybe it's just me, the California folks, maybe, or maybe it's just me, but that if you're not used to that humidity, boy, it can get you. But October's a good time to go. That makes sense weather-wise. I like that too. So that's a good time to go. Now, is there anything other than like the touristy places like Orlando and Miami that you may have been that you recommend?
I also liked Washington, kind of not even like the typical Seattle. I mean, I recommend that too, but being able to like just catch a ferry and go to the smaller parts, like there's a lot of like, there's like lot of little spots in Washington and a lot of natural beauty, like Oregon, Washington. Again, I like hiking and outdoor stuff. So those ones really, really are just gorgeous for that kind of stuff. Some beautiful waterfalls, natural volcanoes, you know, things like that. So I also really liked Washington.
So while we here in Washington, what do you recommend us to eat? Because we hungry.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, the food was not all that in Washington, but there was this one spot in Seattle, the pizza. There's a lot of good pizza spots. You gotta kind of like, it's a hit and miss, but there was this one spot that the pizza, I mean, honestly, that might be one of my top pizza spots. It was really, really good. And I talked to people around and they kind of said there was a lot of spots around there that they equally up to that pizza. So I guess the pizza's pretty good out there.
Right. I actually hear that Seattle's they have good seafood is what I hear. So if you're into seafood, I hear that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. What do you think?
The seafood was good too. Yeah, it was fine. I didn't get to eat a lot of seafood because the people I was with, they don't really like that. So maybe next time when I go back, I gotta focus on that much more.
Now, what that brings up another question. What type of traveler are you? Are you like more of a family traveler, solo traveler, a group with friends, girls, or all the above? Or what type of traveler are you?
So I feel like I'm two types. I try to keep it balanced. I'm a mommy of two. So, and like I said in the beginning, I really like to enjoy being with my family and friends. So I try to take turns to keep it balanced. I literally like one trip I will book and it's a family trip. My kids are going. And then the next trip, it's an adult trip. So it's no kids allowed. So I try to just do a little bit of both. I mean, my kids, I'm blessed and thankful that they are already getting to do that. Because when I was their age, I mean, there's certain things that it wasn't even my vocabulary. I didn't know these places. So they're definitely blessed to be able to get to go, but mommy needs her time alone sometimes. So they don't go all the time.
Now, for all those mommies and parents out there that are traveling with families, any recommendations that you have for as traveling with traveling with family? Any recommendations that you can kind of like with the ages and all that good stuff?
Yes. So in my experience, because I've done lots of different types of trips, depending on what kids go, age groups, everything. If you're traveling with young ones, little ones, like maybe ages baby to 2, I found that road trips are easier, I think, only because you have the luxury of being able to stop when you need to, get out, stretch. So they start to get a little bit fussy, you know, you can stop, you have control to kind of just really figure it out. And it's affordable. And I also found cruises. Cruises are a great way to get affordable trips, touch a lot of places. They don't need passports, because that's one of my rules. If I really want to go have fun and get out the country and fly there, my kids definitely can't go because I purposely don't have passports for them. But to go on a cruise, they've had the opportunity to go to different countries and all I need is a birth certificate. And booze, everything's included. And so again, you just, you don't have to, you could fly to Florida to go to more cruises or, to New Orleans or wherever you want to go. But you can also just, if you're here in California, just drive up to Long Beach and just take a cruise somewhere. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
those are the two, driving and cruises for families.
But yeah, that great. That's a great recommendation. Now, you've been on how many cruises have you been on?
Hmm. I don't even know. I feel like I've been on maybe probably like 7 to 10 now.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
what's up.
I
So
have two
have they
pending. I'm
been
waiting for my two pending ones. I really want to go.
what cruise lines have you been what all cruise lines have you been on so far?
So I've been on Carnival, Princess, and I have one booked with Royal Caribbean. Um, I will
Mm-hmm.
say each cruise line is very different. You kind of get,
Mm-hmm.
the same type of fills. Usually ships are about the same size, rooms are pretty similar, foods, all that kind of stuff. But as far as the vibes and what you're specifically looking for, Princess, I say, is for people who are more maybe chill, calm vibes, just really trying to relax. Now, if you're, a party person, more of a turn up, Carnival is the way to go. And it's more
Mm-hmm.
affordable. And Royal Caribbean, from what
Mm-hmm.
I've been told, I to be continued once I go, I heard is a little bit in between. So yeah, but for me, I'm a Carnival girl.
Okay, Team Carnival. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. I like that. Yeah, so a lot of folks that haven't been on cruises, and I highly recommend them because of everything that you just spoke about. It's all inclusive. Everything's included. Your room, your food is included. Your activities, your entertainment, and I mean, what else? I mean, you just need extra money for like souvenirs and excursions and stuff like that. But other than that, you're pretty
which
much good. I
which do not
mean,
do on the cruise. Always wait till you get to the specific place and book the excursion there.
well, I hope you guys are taking notes and paying attention. Did you hear that? So do not book, once again, if you wasn't paying attention, do not book your excursions on the cruise or go through the cruise line or before you get to your destination. Wait until you get to your destination because you may see something that is there, whether it's that's not offered on the cruise line or the cruise website, or that you may see, or it may be cheaper. It just a number of things, but best recommendation in my opinion, and Jennifer as well, we say wait till you get to your actual location to start booking your excursions because you may see something you like, and if you already have something planned you can't do it, then you got to go to your next port, so you missed out.
Exactly.
So great tip. Okay, cool. Cruises was dope. Let's go to one more state. Let's go to one more state before we start going international. So what other state do you recommend folks to go to?
I love Utah. I love Utah. I love the Rocky
Ooh.
Mountains. They're that one. You can kind of go whenever. Arizona, Utah, like all those little states right there. If you're going for snow, you can go in the wintertime. If you want to go in summertime, get to see the red rocks fully out. You can go around spring,
Mhm.
summer. I really, really, really enjoy it. We get to when I go, I like to go for the winter most times and get a cabin type of resort up in the mountains. I mean, every day you walk out in the morning, you just see that natural wildlife in front of you. It's the air is so fresh, and I mean, it gets real cold. It gets 0 degrees, sometimes below that. So go bundled up and ready if you're going in the winter. But it's just like beautiful things, winter or not. You can do hikes, and then even in the summertime. I mean, when I've gone around spring or summer, it's just those are one of my favorite types of hikes to do. It's just gorgeous out there. Utah, Arizona, all those states, Colorado, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So depends if you like that kind of stuff, but if you're into it, definitely recommend Rocky Mountain states.
Right. So when you do Utah, what do you go?
I
Do
can't
you do
hear
like
you.
Airbnb? Oh, you can't hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Nope. I don't know. Maybe we just having some. Did it just turn off all of a sudden?
I don't know. I can't hear you.
No, you can't hear me at all. I don't know what just happened. Let me try to unplug some things. And let me see here. Would not
Try
be
and talk.
used. All right.
I can hear you a little bit.
You can hear me a little bit.
Nope, you went away.
Let me take
Okay,
this
I
out.
can hear you now, and not now.
You can't hear me right now? What is going on? Let me pause. Let's record. And then yeah, we're back on. So all right, cool. So we talked about a few states and whatnot. We've been to Florida, been to Utah, did some cruising as well. So let's go ahead and go to another country. We got a little ways before we hit the Cayman Islands, but what country would you like to take us to first? What you recommend?
Um, well, I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit about Canada. I did a road trip to Canada too before. So
Ooh,
there goes
you
another road
only
trip.
road trip. So what? All right. So what do you recommend? What's going on in Canada? What's Canada like? What's the vibe? What's all that stuff?
So that was a family trip. So it was more of, it wasn't a turn up vibe for me. It was more of a, family trip kind of thing. So again, just the drive itself was really, really beautiful. On the way up, we took like the middle part, and then on the way back, we took the coastline more. And I preferred the middle. It was going through Washington, Oregon. That's why I ended up going back there, because just the drive through there was just beautiful. And then getting into Canada, driving at least through through the middle part was just in and out. You don't need that for that too. When you drive to a country, you don't need passports. So my kids didn't, like I said, they don't have passports, so they were able to go. I did get them a real ID just to be safe, but they didn't even need that. So yeah, we drove into Canada. We stayed in like a little town called Kelowna, and off like this big, beautiful lake. A lot of wildlife there too, a lot of bighorn sheep, things like that. And then I still like to try and get a little bit out. So then at nighttime, once the kids are good and in the house, me and the adults went down to the bar life, to the nightlife. Definitely not like California, but I will say every time we go anywhere, nothing to me is quite like California. New York was a different level, but you could still, as California folks, we always got that good vibe. So yeah, that was Canada. And the people were just super, super, super nice. And a lot of, I thought it was like, I loved seeing things like when I pay my debit card, a lot of things are like in French and it says like bonjour and things like that. So it was really, my son wants to like move there now. He wants to live in Canada. So we really liked Canada.
Oh, that'd be dope. Now, how many hours was that drive up there from from like the LA area or to where at?
Yeah, so we definitely didn't go to like, obviously we stayed like on the west coast, like the west part of Canada. We didn't go like to the east. That one, I would recommend flying. So to get into the west part of it where we stayed, and you can fly, you can go to like the main spots out there. It took us just stopping for gas and food, pretty much. We got there like in less than a day. It was like 22 hours, I think. So it was closer than Florida.
Ooh, yeah. Right. Yeah, them road trips ain't no joke, man. You got to definitely get you. Did you rent a car or a van or a truck or something or SUV or
SUV?
Okay.
So I use my SUV. It fits 8 people. So but I mean for Florida there was more of us, so we rented one of those big vans, and it was more comfortable because it had like 2 extra rows so that the driver, they were taking turns, could go to the back and take a nap while the next driver was up. So that if you're taking with a lot of people, it's nice to have like a big one so you can really like sleep and catch up on rest when you're not driving or something.
Right. And I don't know if you guys ran into it or not when it comes to the food, but did you try something called poutine?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
I do not. What does that entail?
So poutine, from what it's don't quote me. This is what I've heard. I've never tried it, never had it, but I'm definitely going to try it. It's a Canadian dish. It's fries with like gravy and cheese or something on it or something like that. It's supposed to be pretty good. It may not sound so good when I say it, but
I like fries, gravy, and cheese. That sounded good to me.
Right. I mean, it sounds like it's something to try. We don't have it here I'm pretty sure some places that probably serve it, but it probably doesn't taste like Canadian poutine. But yeah, if you guys try poutine and look into poutine if you are in Canada, so that's one place to try. And then now, as far as anything else before we head to another country that you would like to talk about or recommend?
For Canada, no. It's just, like I said, I want my goal is to kind of go everywhere. So definitely try to go to visit Canada if you haven't.
Cool. So yeah, Canada was cool. Now, what other countries? Where are we going next? What other country would you like to recommend? Talk about a little bit.
Well, I recommend all of them, but the last country I went to, which because of this pandemic, it has now been a year that I have not gone out of the country, was the Philippines. Literally this time last year, December 5th. Yep, I was in the Philippines last year. So I'm really just going through withdrawals. I cannot wait to get back out, really out. But yeah, so the last country I went to was the Philippines.
So what do you recommend us to do while we're here in the Philippines? What island should we stay on, and what should we do? Where should we go? All that.
So first of all, for me, the flight alone was forever. You know, it was like we had a layover in China, and then we went to the Philippines. So the flight was I mean, in total, I think the flight at least was 16 hours. And for me, it's really uncomfortable to be on a plane. So to travel that far, I always, like, whenever I'm going out to the country, I'm not trying to go to one spot and only one spot. I recommend, like, once you're there, you try to get to a few different islands. So, I mean, we try to stay at like some of the main ones that we researched and we want to do certain things in. So like we stayed in like Cebu, we went to Boracay, we went to, gosh, I feel like we went to two different, Palawan. So we went to kind of some different ones. And again, it's so nice because you have the chance and opportunity to see how different it can be from one place to another within the same country. So yeah, everything offered. The food, oh my gosh, there's just so many different things I recommend to have out there. As long as you're not a vegetarian, if you eat everything, you gotta ask about all the famous stuff. And I was trying out everything. It might sound a little bit, but no, when you try it, it's just like, it was so good. Everything was good. And the vibes were good,
So
water, everything.
What do you recommend us to eat? Yeah, what do you recommend us to eat? What you recommend?
Gosh, okay. So for the dessert, I just fell in love with it. It's called the halo halo. And every time I tried it in a different spot, it was never the same. It always was a little bit different. It almost looked to me, and it looked and sounded like the ingredients was like if you're drunk, you're having some drunk dessert, and because it's like ice cream and like coconut leaves and sometimes cereal and nuts and just all kinds of random stuff that sounded weird to me. But when I tried it, I was like, oh my God, every time I was going somewhere, even right before we got back on the plane to come back, I was like, oh my God, I need one more halo halo. And then, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. I cannot think of what it's called, but it's a famous pig dish. Like the pig is like one of the main meats they eat out there. And gosh, what is it called? But basically, like they get the piece of the pig and they like fry it. You can see, the pig there, and they kind of like add like lime and stuff to it, and they give you this sauce to dip it with, and it was just so good. Everything was so good. A lot of like coconut chicken, like just whatever was a weird dish, I was like, give me that, and it was all great.
Right. Now, what's your opinion? Because you got some travelers who they travel, they go to a different country, and they're looking for a McDonald's. So what is your opinion on trying the local cuisine when we travel?
Well, even with the McDonald's, it's different over there. So that is the one thing with McDonald's at different places. I mean, for sure you can go look, because a lot of times they have like, I think they always have like a meat and rice type of dish on the menu. So it is interesting to see, like, I like to just see all those different things. But I mean, I'm all about like, don't get the same food you can get here. I'm all about like, when are you going to come again? Like, when are you going to be able to have this opportunity? So I'm all about trying whatever they recommend. I mean, it's not going to always be good. Like, and there's some things that I'm just like, no, like there was this little like live baby egg chick thing. I'm like, nah, I'm not cool with it. It's real bad. So, of course, you be your own judge if you want to do it or not. But I definitely recommend be a little spontaneous and try the local cuisine as opposed to just what we always can get.
Agreed, 100%. So anything else before we head out? We got one more country we're going to hit before we get to the Cayman Islands. Anything else in Philippines that you recommend?
They're all just, everything was so. Also, when you go to any country, I mean, obviously do the research before and see if there's anything you really want to do, because over there was a lot of like main famous things to do. So we got the opportunity to do that, and some of them were really rigorous hikes to get through because of storms and tropical things that didn't let us get on the boats, but we weren't going to get held back. So just do the research before you go anywhere. Do the research and really pick what you want to do so that you can make sure to get that into your itinerary and get it done.
So what your favorite thing to do there, as far as like whether it's a hike or waterfall or the beach? What was your favorite thing?
Um, I have to look it up or what it was called, but there was this one like underground cave river kind of thing. It's one of the famous, I want to say, I don't know that I think it used to be one of the seven wonders. So now it's
Mm,
not considered a current one. But
mhm,
so we did that. And that was one of the things where we had it paid for, when you get you obviously get driven to the spot. And once you're there, it's like a little boat that you take to get to the next spot. And then you get into like a little kayak and you get to like go into this dark underwater cave kind of thing. But the tides and everything were really, really strong when we got there. So we didn't get to take the 15-minute ride. So then we had to
mm,
choose if we wanted to take a 2.5-hour hike to get
mhm,
there through
mhm,
like the jungle with all kinds of
mm,
monkeys and
mm.
wildlife and bugs and just everything. But of
Right.
course, when am I going to be in the Philippines again? So I'm like, well, we're doing the hike.
There
So
you go.
it was try to be in shape and ready to get to do some adventurous things. But I honestly, I'm so happy that I got to do that instead. Like it was like a hike where literally on this side it's like the beach, and then right to your right it's the jungle. So it was just gorgeous, gorgeous. And the monkeys are
Right.
just right there looking at us, and they're so used to humans that they're just trying to come up to get your food.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed. That was like one of my highlights there.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. So if you haven't been to the Philippines, man, definitely try out the Halo Halo. It's something I just learned today. So that's something I want to put on my list to do. And then you got hikes and whatnot. You got a jungle. Make sure you have your bug repellent, mosquito repellent. That's
Yes.
important. And then you got your underground cave or whatnot. You can do all kind of stuff there. So it's a lot of things you do your research when you officially go to the Philippines. But it sounds amazing. Sounds dope. So let's go to another country before we hit the Cayman Islands. Let's go. Where would you like to? You the pilot. I'm just co-piloting. Where would you like to take us next?
Um, one of the other countries I really enjoyed was my present to myself when I got my master's, and we went to Colombia. So
Mm.
Colombia was I loved Colombia.
Colombia. What part of Colombia did you go to?
So we stayed in Medellin.
Hmm.
Got to do a lot of the Pablo Escobar stuff. Just a lot of. I like to do all the history. It's to get there, talk to the people, all that, and then to get like a whole different scenery, we took a little charter plane and went to Cartagena. And
Mm,
Cartagena was just, I loved Cartagena. I love Medellin
mm,
too, but
mm,
like I said, definitely when you go to places, don't try to just not stay in one spot. Really try to go to at least hopefully two within the country so that you can really
mm,
get some good vibes there.
mm.
But yeah, so we went to those two, and they were both very, very different from one another, both very, very just amazing.
So describe the difference. Describe what if anything were similar, describe that. If anything, the differences. So what is Medellin like, and what is Cartagena like?
So in Medellin, it was more of the like I kind of feel like the town people, lots of it's tropical everywhere there. It was green, lots of roads. More Cartagena was a lot more of like the Afro Latin and even the people. So in Medellin, a lot of like light skinned complexion, things like that. And when I went to Cartagena, it was a lot of the like Afro Latino. So then we got the darker skin complexion. It's more of an
Mhm,
island kind of vibe. I mean, the beach is everywhere right there, right next to you. There's only like one major town life, and it's so small and just I mean literally where we were staying, you just walk out and you're right there, and in the mix of everything. So
mhm,
I would say that one was more of, like I said, like more of a type of home feel type of vibe, and the other one was more of an island tropical type of vibe. So they're
mhm,
again very different, but I just so amazing.
mhm. Now, for us foodies out there, how's the food? Do you recommend any type of food, or what
Yes.
are they known for? What do you like?
Um, So it's a lot of fried food out there. So
Mhm,
always be willing to get a little pounds, but then you work it out with doing all the activity. So again, it balances
yep.
itself out. So the arepas were
Mm,
so good. It's like an outer fried part, and inside it depends on what kind you get, but it has like meat and papas, potatoes, cheese. Like it just has with different things inside of it. So that was the food there was amazing too. But I really I miss the arepas. That was my favorite part
Mm. Yeah,
of
yeah.
food. Of food. Mhm.
The yeah. Arepas. If you guys haven't tried that, we go down south in the southern South America. It's popular. I've had it in Chile, in Colombia as well. Like she mentioned, it's some type of fried dough or bread or what have you. Have different meats. It could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be pork or what have you. And then they could be potatoes, cheese, and it's
They got
all
veggie
like a.
options too. There's veggie options too.
Thank you for those vegetarians out there. Got the veggie options for you as well. So yeah, it's definitely something to try. I mean, again, with the local foods, you got to try their local foods, what it tastes like, and they got good food down there. I admit. I admit. Anything else that you want to talk about before we head to the Cayman Islands?
No.
Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Colombia wasn't on your list, definitely put it on your list. Try it out. It's beautiful. It's tropical. You can go to Medellin, where it's more of a city or home feel or home vibe, or you can go to Cartagena, where it's more of tropical beach type vibe as well. So whatever you're into. And they also got another one, Bogota. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
ever been
we
in
were gonna go there.
Bogota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bogota.
Bogota. It's in the mountains. It's very, very, very cold. So you definitely want to bundle up there. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, it's more of it's a colder region because it's so high in altitude. But yeah. So with that being said, we are now officially landed in the Cayman Islands. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are off the plane, are stretching our legs. We're ready to hit the ground running. So Jennifer, what is the first thing you recommend while we're here?
So I got to specifically, I went to the bigger island, which is the Grand Cayman Island. And even that, it was, I mean, in total, it's 22 miles long. So it's a very small island, which to me, you have the opportunity to really try and get to do a little bit of whatever that island has to offer. So, I mean, I remember the very first thing that I saw when I got there was just the water. Every single time I go to other countries and I get to see the water and the ocean, it's beautiful compared to what we got here in the Pacific and California. It's just, I wish we had those waters. But the Grand Cayman Island water was just the clearest and purest that I've seen thus far. I mean, even now, after I went to other places since then, it's still, the water was just gorgeous. I mean, you can clearly see the different colors and the coral rocks and everything. Just, I mean, you could just snorkel from above and just look down. So the water really, really, really stood out to me as soon as we got on the island. And then I did take like a little kind of trip to get to see all the different parts of the island. So there was like one of the main things, everywhere you go, first of all, you're gonna see like iguanas of all sizes, pretty big, just everywhere. They're just chilling wherever you go. And then I really thought that it was, as we took a drive, we got to stop at this little shop where they gave you like this great rum. And I always love the hospitality whenever I go somewhere. So they gave us some like rum cake and everything. It was, I love rum. That's my favorite type of alcohol. So it was really good. And then you can send, the one part that I really, really enjoyed was, it was interesting and unique. You can send a postcard from anywhere up to anyone from hell, because there's a little spot that it's literally like it says welcome to hell. And it's kind of like the island is so small, but that one little region, it's literally hotter. Like it just gets hotter. And they have like these limestone rocks that used to be underwater. And so now they're just like all black. And so they call it hell. It's like a little hell. And they have a little post office. So you can go and inside and get your card and it'll say from, postcard from hell. So I got my little shot glass from hell. I've been to hell and back.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, how long was that flight from LA? I'm assuming you took it from LAX. How long was that flight?
I did not.
Oh,
so that's one of the countries that I got there through a cruise. So it was one where I stopped in Cozumel first, Cozumel, Mexico, and then I think Grand Cayman was a second stop, and then I went to Jamaica. So Grand Cayman was I got there via Carnival cruise.
Nice. Okay. So that's different. There you go. Now, when it comes to the Grand Cayman Islands, what was there anything different about that island versus the other islands that you've been to?
Well, like I said, it was one of the smaller islands that I've been to. So it was, but especially when you go on a cruise, I kind of appreciate it because for me, I feel like I was able to get all the main things done within that day that I was there. So it worked out. And like they have like this beautiful long strip 7 Mile beach, and getting to hear all the different things out there. Like, I mean, pretty much there's this one guy now who I feel like his name was Ken Dart or just some like billionaire who he renounced. He left his U.S. citizenship to become a resident there, and he pretty much owns like all of it now. Like all the property there was just, I mean, literally when we're with the locals, they're like, oh, that's his, that's his, that's his, that's his. So it's just really interesting to be able to go and just have the opportunity to kind of see. I mean, I saw the whole island and learn all the different things about it too. I mean, it's really like they have their own turtle reserve there, and it's just really, really beautiful. And like I said, just the water alone, you just go out and just sit on the water all day. It's just, you can't get tired of it.
Right. Now, is there any type of food that stands out, or is there anything good about the food, or there's something that you recommend?
So speaking about turtles, there's turtle soup. And if you haven't had it, it was, I mean, I liked it. Again, I don't like to really think about it when I'm eating, but again, I mean, it's just something you gotta, if you eat meat and stuff, I mean, just try the exotic, food that they have to offer. But it was good. I mean, I liked it. To me, the island vibes, they tend to be like, just the different islands I've been to, they kind of seem to be similar. And like islanders are always just, I feel like they have that more relaxed, calm, slow pace about them, as opposed to us city folks or California folks that are just kind of usually always just go, ready. And so it's just always nice to kind of just get away and try a different thing and just be in a different element for a while.
Yeah, slow down. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely slow down. Take your time. Be here in the present, in the now, in the moment. So yeah, it's what. So what type of what type of trip do you think it is to go to the Grand Cayman Islands? Is it more of a family trip, a solo trip, a budget trip, a honeymoon type trip? What type of trip is it?
So if you're looking for like party life or anything like that, I don't think Grand Cayman is not that. I don't feel it's that vibe. I also don't. I feel like if it's a place that, again, you don't need that much time at, only because it's pretty small. So maybe, like you can stay there for like 3 days and maybe like go to a different place next, not too far from it, like Jamaica or something. So I think it would be a good, couple destination, honeymoon destination, a perfect, for a family stop with on a cruise. I mean, it's just, it's one of those places where maybe because I'm a little biased because I got there through cruise, but I mean, I think it was definitely a perfect stop to have on a cruise.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds interesting. It sounds nice. It sounds like it's a relaxing place, especially if you into like tropical areas and beaches and whatnot. The water is gorgeous. I'm sure it's warm. It's one of those type. Yeah.
Great
I'm
spot to
sure.
snorkel. Great snorkeling.
Yeah. So I mean, are they known for anything like shopping or jewelry or anything like that?
No, not so. I mean, they're honestly, like they have like a lot of, from what I was told while on the tour, they kind of have like their own financial industry, like a lot of companies and hotels and things like that. Like that's kind of what keeps them going is the tourism and the that kind of thing. It's not so much, like clubs or anything like that. But it is, and it's one of those places where I wanted to go now before it might be too late, because it is one of those places that, I mean, it's always at risk of going undersea because it's not that above sea level. So, it's definitely, that's one of the main reasons I'm like, when I saw it as an option, I was like, I need to go here before it's gone. So, and it only, every year, just kind of like the sea level only continues to rise a little bit more. So definitely try to get to the Cayman Islands before it's no longer there, potentially.
Wow. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind, because there's a lot of places. I think Machu Picchu is another place that they're talking about. I mean, it has nothing to do with like sea levels and that, but I think I've heard that they're talking about closing it down. I don't know when or if that's going to happen. Or I believe there's the Galapagos Island is another place where they're going to stop tourism because it's polluting
a lot of endangered species and Yeah.
Yeah, our sunscreen and our all our tourism stuff going on, and they have like a very well known a big biochemistry. I don't know, some type of little coral reef or something like that down there. But yeah, so Cayman Islands, I didn't know it's in the same situation. Do you know if there, dude, Cayman Islands, is there other islands, or how many islands there are? Did you learn that at all?
I don't quote me, but I want to say I think there was three. I think there was
Okay,
three, and Grand Cayman was the biggest, but could be wrong. It's been, I went there a few years ago, but I'm almost positive it was three. And I know
so
Grand
how?
Cayman was the biggest.
Okay, and how do you get around to those three islands, or those few islands that it has? Is it like a ferry or a little charter
Yeah,
plane?
yeah.
How do you?
It's just those little. I know they're really close that you could just take a little. It wasn't expensive. You can definitely like if you I definitely would say like if you're going by plane or anything. I mean, definitely. Like I said, you don't have to stay on that one island. Like I would definitely catch a little ferry boat to go to the next island over, things like that. So yeah, so it's not that
Right.
far, not difficult to get to.
Did as far as is there anything other than the turtle soup? That any other wild dishes that you recommend, or that maybe you didn't even try, but other things that they have to offer?
Um, you know, for me, that was the one thing that stood out the most. But I mean,
Mhm.
the food, all of it was good to me. It wasn't, it was all good. I mean, so far, every single time I go onto an island, the food is always has been good. So all
Mhm.
the food that we had there was good. It was just the turtle soup was like the one thing that stuck out to me. But yeah, no, all the food was
Okay.
good. Like I said, I definitely say that if you are a vegetarian, because I travel with a friend who's vegetarian, and it's always kind of complicated. So if you're a vegetarian, I mean, I definitely say like trying to research that because I feel so bad. Like I always feel like all she has to eat is a little salad. So, but if you're open to anything and everything, you're good to go. So,
Right, right. That's good. Well, yeah, vegetarians, I think they do have a difficult time traveling because there's not always vegetarian options, or many options if there are, when it comes
right.
to
And even
vegetarian.
worse if
And then
you're
again,
vegan.
you took the words right out the mouth. Like even worse, vegan as well. Like I don't know how they do vegan, but man, hey, salute, salute, salute. Now, is there anything that you dislike about the Grand Cayman Island?
Um, honestly, I can't think of anything I disliked. It was people were good, people were nice. It was beautiful. No, I mean, I can't think. I mean, I feel like no, I can't think of anything that I disliked,
Okay,
luckily.
cool. Yeah, and that's good. That's good. Sometimes you can't, and that's good. It is what it is. Now, as far as the language, do they speak English there? Is there a native language?
English, everyone
Okay.
spoke English. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. But because us
So there was
Americans,
no
we
barriers
don't
there.
speak multiple language. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay, for those folks who only speak English, you're good to go when you go to the Grand Cayman Islands. So definitely do that. Now, far as like local transportation, how do you get around? Is it taxis? Is it buses, or how bikes, or walking, or how do you
So
get
there's
around?
definitely no freeways or anything like that. It's just a little island. I honestly, it was just, from what I recall, it's just like one road that goes all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you just, it's cars. I mean, you could definitely use your bike, and there wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
lot of cars there. It's so small that all you really need is a bike to
Mm-hmm.
to get around. I mean, I feel like it was like about 20 miles lengthwise, and width. I think it was only like a 7 mile width kind of thing. So it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very easy to get around on bike or anything. And like I said, there wasn't lots of cars. And if I recall correctly, it's just one big circle for the main road.
Wow, very, very, yeah. Like I said, that sounds like something you can, you stay for a few days and it's time to get to a next destination. So,
Agreed. Yes.
yeah, that sounds like a quick trip. That's definitely sound like it.
Yes.
So, a cruise may be like I said, it's probably a better way to actually to see that island.
Right.
Not unless you just want to go and just do like just straight R&R. You're not trying to do nothing and just see beautiful waters. I mean, you can do that as well. If you just want to have like that lazy trip, so to speak, and just recharge.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. Now, is there any? You say you went with family, right? That was a family
Yes.
trip.
Yes.
Now, what are some activities? Yeah, I know you said snorkeling and a few things. I
Yeah.
believe I remember snorkeling, but what other
Yeah.
what other
So it was
activities
like
do you think?
we were able to do like well, it was nice because I remember like on the water they had like this big like trampoline thing. So you can just like
Ooh.
I took the kids and we were able to just like be on the trampoline, like in the water, snorkeling. They, my son is very into animals and turtles. So there was like this really nice, like turtle reserve, just full of turtles. And literally, like I said, more so in there was iguanas everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. There was also like dolphins and things like, you know, you can go swimming with the dolphins, things like that. So I feel like those are the main things. They have like a lot of animal stuff, dolphins, turtles, snorkeling. It's a lot of water activities to do out there.
Hmm. Yeah. So when it comes to since it is a water and a beach type vibe, what would you rank it on all the beaches that you've been to, all the tropical places? What would you rank it in your list of top beaches that you've been to?
Well, I think that's why I liked it, because for me, that's what stood out to me. I feel like that one in Boracay, which was in the Philippines, those two were the best beaches I've been to. So that was,
Mm-hmm.
those are my favorite two for water. It's for the beach.
Okay.
So
Right. Right. So what made you choose the Grand Cayman Island? Why did you want to go there? What was the reason for going?
So one of my routines is I try to do a family trip every spring break, and I like
Mm-hmm.
to do cruises because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I'm able to get the most for my money, and I got to pay for me and two kids. So
Mm-hmm.
so when I was looking at the itineraries of what the cruises have to offer, I felt like that one was a really good opportunity where the kids and I could go to some really nice exotic countries for a really affordable price and have everything included. So that was the main, when I saw the Grand Cayman Islands and Jamaica, those are the main things that stood out to me. I'm like, oh, let me do this cruise. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's kind of how I always book it. I have one pending for this. I was supposed to go this past March, but pandemic dropped literally like 2 days before I was supposed to head out.
Mm-hmm.
So God willing, we're supposed to go this next spring break on a Carnival cruise, and we'll be going to Belize, Honduras, some
Mm-hmm.
other countries. So I'm hoping that'll happen. So that was kind of what made me pick it. Was just it looked like a good option on the cruise itinerary.
Cool. Now, what port did you guys go out of?
So for that one I flew to Florida. So it was Miami. That
Okay.
one we did in
Okay.
Miami.
Okay.
But there's always different ones. I mean, I've been able to take a cruise to Hawaii, to like 5 different islands of Hawaii right here from Long Beach. So it just, you got to just research it. I'll be, for this spring break, I'm going to be driving to Texas, and we'll be able to go to the cruise to from Galveston and go to Honduras, Belize. So it's like it's not, to me, it's very it's manageable. It's within reach
Mm-hmm.
if you want to just drive there or something and
Mm-hmm.
still be able to go to some really exotic, nice countries.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I like that. So just to give our audience just a rough idea about how much was that cruise to the Grand Cayman Islands about, more or less, with your family, you and your kids.
So typically I'm able to get it, because that was more like a longer cruise. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
7 nights, 8 days. So
Mm-hmm.
and you got to think, I mean, what do you, even in your normal everyday life, what are you paying for utilities and what you're eating and things like that, and all that's going to be covered, your room and board and everything. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
say it came out to, maybe I usually get it anywhere roughly between 5 to 650 per person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
See.
but to me, that's very, I mean, that comes out to less than $100 per day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
you're having the opportunity to make memories and really get out and explore some new and unique things.
Yes. I like that, definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, a cruise definitely for families, and even if you don't even have a family, a cruise is just good to go to
Oh, trust me,
because
I've
you
done
can.
some all adult girl cruises. They're amazing too.
Yeah, you can do that. They have so many different types of cruises that you can do. They got Super Bowl cruises, or
Yes.
Mardi Gras cruises, or girls cruise, or
There's like reggaeton cruises, if you guys
or
are into reggaeton.
yeah, LGBTQ play. They got all kind of just different everything. So definitely do your research. So now the Grand Cayman Island was definitely a beautiful time. We enjoyed it, and now let's do this. Since we have to, wrap things up, we got to hit the gift shop. Definitely got to hit the gift shop so we can stop there, get some souvenirs. Is there anything else that you recommend that we haven't talked about that you could think of about the Grand Cayman Islands that you would like to share with us before we head back?
Well, those are the two spots I would recommend to get your souvenirs from. Was the one spot where we went to Hell. It has like a really good little
Mm-hmm.
souvenir store in there. Like I said, I got my little Hell shot glass. And then
Mm-hmm.
the spot that I stopped for the rum, we got some good souvenirs there too. So the
Cool.
fact that it's so small, I feel like you definitely won't miss out on where to go. So those are the two spots you can't miss it.
Perfect, perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to catch this flight back home. So on this way back home, Jennifer, we do have one last piece of segment for us. Let me go ahead and pull it up, but it's called the lightning round. And in the lightning round, I'm going to ask you a list of questions, and you are to answer them as quickly as possible. All right, so
Okay.
speed is our friend. And then not only that, to make it even more interesting, you can only use one word answers. So no
Oh
sentences, no
man,
backstory, just keep it short and sweet. Yeah. It's
I'm a
gonna be
little
cool. It's
nervous.
gonna have fun. So let me yeah, it's all right. I think you're gonna do okay. But let me see. Okay, so I'm ready. Are you ready?
I think so. As ready as I'm gonna be. Let's
All
go.
right, let's get it going. So question number one. What is your favorite airline?
United.
What is your favorite hotel?
I do resorts. So resort.
What's your favorite resort? Okay. What is your favorite cruise line?
Carnival.
What is your favorite state?
Utah.
What is your favorite country?
Philippines.
What is your favorite hotel booking site?
Expedia.
What is your favorite flight booking site or app?
Expedia.
Okay. What is one thing that Jennifer must bring on all of her trips?
Bathing suits.
Right. So where do you want to go next?
Well, I actually, where do I want to go or where am I going? I have actually some trips already planned. Next week, I'll be in New Orleans.
New Orleans. So what other state would you live in?
Staying in California. That's the one thing, staying in California.
What? I got you on that. What other country would you live in?
Maybe South America.
A particular country?
Well, I mean, all I can say is so maybe Colombia.
Colombia. All right. Now, last question for you. What is your favorite travel podcast?
Of course, it got to be you.
Good answer. That's right. So much appreciated, Jennifer. Thank you for stopping by, showing us some love, and dropping a lot of travel knowledge for us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And then to my ladies and gentlemen out there who are traveling with us, you already know what time of day it is. We are preparing to land, so the plane is now descending. We need you back into your seats, buckle up, trays up, and your seats in the upright position. So before we land, Jennifer, if you can do us a huge favor, if you can, may you go ahead and give us one last piece of travel advice.
Research. I definitely say it's all about research, whether you're researching the price that you're going to book for something for, researching the weather. So when you got to find the best time to go, researching what you want to do once you get there so that you can, do an appropriate timeline. I mean, I literally put things in my notes so that I have an idea of what I'm going to get done. So it's all about research. You got to research so that you can properly plan so that you don't miss out and you can really get the fullest out of your trip.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Hope you guys are paying attention. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are safely landed. You can now unbuckle your seatbelts, grab your belongings, and exit the cabin. So thank you for flying here with us at the Global Travel Podcast, and see you on our next flight. If you would like to be a guest on our show and tell us about your travel experiences, then leave us a comment in the comment section below so we can reach out to you. Also, if you have any countries, states, or cities that you'd like us to review, please let us know so we can plan a trip there. Lastly, if you got some good value today and liked our podcast, please hit the like button and click subscribe so you can travel with us again next time. So subscribe right now because you don't want to miss the next trip. With that being said, over and out.